All organisations have strategic drivers that form the backbone of their strategy and enable them to sell their product or service in the marketplace. Thinking about strategic drivers is the first step in your internal analysis of the organisation. The 5 drivers you need to consider are industry and markets, customers, products or services, channels, and competitive advantage. And we will be discussing the first 4 here. We build on previous work where we move from analysing the broader external environment to how an organisation works within that environment. For an example of strategic driver analysis, we're going to return to POD, my protein drink business. When analysing customer markets, we must look at age, group, gender, location, behaviours like when customers purchase and why, psychographic traits such as the type of lifestyle or personality, and distribution channels. My customer market analysis enabled me to decide which customers to target. This highlighted 2 main demographic groups: the behavioural approach to purchasing, channels of distribution, and the mindset of my target group. You might wonder why I didn't cover off on industry markets first, as this is the first term on the list. This highlights the processual nature of strategy. The customer came to my mind first. I wanted to fix a pain point to sell a product. If I had thought about the industry or the drink first, I might have created a product that had no market, that the customer didn't want. I considered distribution channels next in my list. I would be selling through gyms, cafes, and convenience stores. But more analysis is required here. Was I going to set up the distribution channel myself or use established channels? How many channels did I need? Let's break this down a little further. I had to consider not just the transportation of the product, but also how you deal with sales and customer service. Even if you are selling a service instead of a product, there can be an upfront sales component, then account management, then technical or other support channels. So for POD, I started distributing on my own. That enabled me to combine all 3 channels into one. I could sell the product into new stores, work with existing customers to improve shelf presence, push new flavours, and also deal with any product quality issues. But this advantage didn't last long as my workday turned into a 15-hour slog with 8 hours on the road. So I looked for a third-party distributor who would handle sales and transportation. I could then handle the customer or consumer complaints and other business operations. The industry I had entered was sports nutrition products, but could also be called lifestyle drinks. But in real life, things are not as clear and structured. My drink didn't just compete against products like protein milkshakes, it competed with a drink that was nearby in the fridge it was placed in. I was in a product market that included electrolyte drinks, coconut water, iced tea, juices, and even water. Your product market can also be closely linked to your competitor's product range and the distribution channel. So it was important to take this into account, especially for how I marketed the product and also the price point I advised the retailer to set. Finally, let's consider the products themselves. In my case, this was relatively straightforward. I released 1 test flavour to the market, followed by 2 more. But even early on in the business, I had to consider the product range with a longer term view. My customers wanted 3 to 5 flavours in their fridge. However, to make things more difficult, my competitors also distributed energy and protein bars to get more presence in store. So they bundled different products together to create a broader experience. This shows you can't just analyse the products area as an individual drink item. You also have to think more broadly. So let's recap. There are 5 key strategy drivers to consider: industry and markets, customers, products or services, channels, and competitive advantage. In a case study, make sure you consider these drivers as a group as well as individually, as they influence each other.